Welcome aboard, everybody. It's Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. In the time that it takes for me to broadcast this radio program today, Wednesday, May 21st, 2014, approximately 170 people will die because of MD-directed medical therapeutics. Approximately 170 people will die because of MD-directed medical therapeutics, and that does not take into consideration how much harm will be done. It does not take into consideration how much financial suffering will be engendered, and it does not take into consideration how many loved ones will be left behind or be saddled with an unnecessary burden of having to do 24-hour care for their infirm relatives. All of these consequences of conventional medicine, they don't go into the statistic books, just like, we don't know how many automobile accidents are caused by people gorked out of their brains on prescription meds. Ever taken a prescription med? Makes you feel funny, doesn't it? Makes you not think right. Makes you not feel right. Makes you just kind of feel funny. You're not yourself. And I wonder how many automobile accidents are caused by people being negatively affected by their blood pressure medication, by their heartburn medication, by their whatever. And I'm not just talking about the medications that says don't operate heavy machinery while under the influence of this drug. I'm talking about just the normal things. We live in an upside-down, inside-out, backwards, crazy world, ladies and gentlemen, where disease management has become the new healthy, where symptom suppression with synthetic pharmaceuticals sold to you at a profit is the new normal for health and is the king of the hill, the champion of the healthcare cause, the sine qua non, the alpha and the omega of all things having to do with medicine. The people that are completely unprepared, uneducated, with the wrong tools to help us recover from a chronic health disease are the people that we have put up on the health pedestal for the last 100 years. The biggest mistake that we make when it comes to our health is believing that somebody with an MD after their name knows what's best for us. They do not. They know what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is a tiny aspect of medical science, but the drug companies have convinced you it's everything. And everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack with substandard training. Don't go to see the nature path. What is a nature path anyway, for goodness sake? We don't need hiking trails. We need medicine. Yeah, I've heard it before. This is the state that we are in, and it's a it's a beast with many heads. I'm going to be talking about one of those heads tonight, autoimmunity, the myth of autoimmunity. If you've been told you have an autoimmune disease, you don't. You've been a victim of fuzzy MD logic. You have been victimized by a reductionistic reality, by consensus, brought to the foreground by medical professionals who are intellectually cowards. Intellectual cowards. There, I said it out loud. I'm slapping their cheek. I'm hitting their cheek with a glove. I'm challenging them to a duel because I'm sick and tired of it. You should be too. The problem here is that we don't know there's a different way. We don't know there's an alternative. We don't know there's a science-based, clinically verified, physician-directed, physician-delivered, physician-regulated alternative to contemporary MD reductionistic allopathic thought and treatment. It does exist. It's here in living color right now. And tonight, for Dr. Glidden insiders and their guests, we're having an exclusive worldwide webinar that pulls back the curtain on the concept of autoimmune disease and gives you a more robust, sophisticated, real perspective of what's really going on in the human body, which makes the MD diagnosis and the MD understanding of your chronic disease seem extremely juvenile and childish. Because in point of fact, it is. In point of fact, it is. Now, not normally. Once a month, we have free worldwide webinars. Tonight is not free. Tonight, you must be a paid subscriber or a guest of a paid subscriber to gain access to this information. So if you are not yet a Dr. Glidden Insider, today is the perfect day to become one. Just visit the website, drglidden.com, drglidden.com. Excuse me. Click on the Become an Insider button, and for $20 a month, you will have access to over 110 hours of archived health webinars and 3 hours of live webinars a week. 3 hours of live webinars a week, all for $20 a month. Cancel at any time. If you like the stuff that you have exposure to, then get a year subscription and we'll give you 2 months free. I mean, that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. For goodness sake. There's 30 days in a month, $20 a day. That's less than $1 a day. What's that, like 70 cents a day? I can find 70 cents a day. Pop down $20. Visit the webinar tonight. It starts at 8 o'clock Central. You can become a subscriber at 7:59 Central Time and still have access to this webinar. 8 o'clock Central Time tonight to 9 o'clock Central Time tonight. Live, worldwide live webinar where I bust wide open the mythology surrounding the concept of autoimmune disease. And not only that, I'll tell you what you can do, action steps that you can take on your behalf right now in order to support and promote the structure and function of your body, in order to support your body in its quest to recover its health, in its quest to bounce back from a state of dis-ease into a state of ease. From a state of dis-ease into a state of ease. There's so much we need to understand. There's so much misinformation that we have been fed by the pharmaceutical industry for the last 100 years. The tumor is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. The arthritic knee is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. So when you cut the tumor out, or you cut the knee out and put a titanium knee in its place, have you even interfaced at all with the cause of the disease? No. All you have done is manage the results of the disease. And it's only a matter of time until the disease process, which is still at play, you haven't addressed it at all, until it manifests again somewhere else. This is why most of the time, if not all of the time, when cancerous tumors are removed, they always come back. And when they come back worse. This is why when you have your right knee, you get a fake right knee, it's only a matter of time until you need a fake left knee. And then it's only a matter of time until you need a fake hip, then a fake shoulder. Because the process which made the joint go south in the first place is still at play in your body. The damaged joint is the result of the disease. It's not the disease, but the MD does not understand this basic foundation health concept. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They're not trained in it. If people, if I could wave a magic wand and have one wish, my wish would be that everybody would wake up tomorrow and they would understand how MDs think. They would understand how MDs are trained. They would understand the philosophy of health, healing, disease, and its treatment that the MDs are trained in. And if you understood the perspective that the MD brings to bear on your body, you would run as fast as you possibly could in the other direction from anybody with a white coat. Unless you were bleeding to death or you had some type of trauma, because that's the wheelhouse of the MD. Emergency medicine. But remember, Rome is burning. This is what happens when an industry is monopolized. It's only a matter of time until it self-destructs. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. According to Harvard University, over 50% of emergency room medical doctors are addicted to street drugs, alcohol, or prescription meds. So even in the domain inside of which they excel, emergency medicine and trauma care, surgery when it's absolutely necessary, over half of the time they're gorked out of their minds on drugs. And it should be a law that every time an emergency room medical person, I don't care if it's a nurse, I don't care if it's an orderly, I don't care if it's a secretary, I don't care, the person behind the counter or the doctor or the resident or the intern. It should be a law that every time they punch their time clock, they pee in a cup. And they have their urine checked for nefarious substances. And if those are found, they don't get to go to work. They get fined. But that's never going to happen because, they hold sway. Why do they hold sway? Because we let them hold sway. The pharmaceutical industry ushered them into the catbird seat in the 1920s after the Flexner Report, and we've never looked back. We've all drunk deep from the Kool-Aid that the MD knows what's best for us. But ladies and gentlemen, they do not. Their therapeutics are the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. While we have given ourselves over to their intelligence, chronic disease is getting worse. Life expectancy is getting shorter. Everybody is sick. And if you stick around with us, you will find out why. And if you want to get to the skinny, get to the roots, get to the real deal about autoimmunity, become an insider and show up tonight. It's going to be a blast. Hundreds of people are expected. A worldwide phenomenon for insiders and their guests only. Yours truly pulls back the curtain on autoimmunity. Hope to see you there. Stick around. My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. The buck stops here, ladies and gentlemen. I am the red pill. Take a dose of me. Pop out of the matrix. Pull back the curtain on what's really going on with the dissemination of medicine here. And let me and my contemporaries, my associates, my Longevity Nation members, usher you into the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition. You have no idea of the ability of your body to fix itself. You have been deceived as to the ability of your body to fix itself. For goodness sake, your body grew itself all by itself from a single-celled organism into you. You think if it knew how to do that, it knows how to fix itself? Wow. Inquiring minds say yes, 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 indeed, yes. This is our message. The body knows how to fix itself. The body wants to fix itself, and it's the holistic physician's job to bring to the table therapeutics which have been science-based and clinically verified in order to support and promote your body's ability to do this. Now, chiropractors do this one way. Homeopaths do it one way. Acupuncturists do it one way. Ayurvedic practitioners, herbalists do it their own ways. The way that I espouse here on the radio is Foundation Medical Nutrition for the Masses. Foundation Medical Nutrition for the Masses. This is boilerplate Foundation Medical Nutrition for everybody. I mean, look, just by cleaning up the water supply, and generating safe septic systems for, large cities and communities and regulating the food production, we were able to double human life expectancy in about 80 years. We doubled it. And it wasn't through medication and antibiotics. It was through cleaning up the water and cleaning up the poop, basically, and making sure that people had food on a regular basis. The government steps in and helps farmers, right? It doubled our life expectancy, for goodness sake. So simple things you can do will have a dramatic impact on your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. Well, Foundation Medical Nutrition is the next step. Foundation Medical Nutrition is the next step. in addition to drinking purified water, in addition to making sure your poop and your pee go to the appropriate place and are cleaned up appropriately, in addition to making sure you're eating enough calories every day to keep your body running, you need to provide your body with the raw materials that it needs in order to function properly, 90 essential nutrients. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids, a grand total of 90. Calcium, selenium, zinc, sulfur, vitamin A, vitamin B, omega-3 fatty acids, leucine, alanine, amino acids, etc., etc. You need 90 of these every day. And good luck trying to get these 90 essential nutrients from food. You can't do it. Especially the minerals. Plants can't make minerals. Animals can't make minerals. The only person that makes a mineral is God. Minerals are found in the soil, or not. They're not evenly spread out in the soil, so unless there's calcium in the grass, in the soil that the grass is growing in, that the cow eats, there's no calcium in the cow's body. Where do you think the cow gets calcium from? Thin air? No. Comes from the soil. Everybody is minerally deficient because the minerals are not evenly spread out in the soil. And every single solitary metabolic thing that happens in your body needs a mineral. So if you are minerally deficient, it's only a matter of time until something in your body breaks. If you're vitamin deficient, it's only a matter of time until something in your body breaks. If you're amino acid deficient, it's only a matter of time until something breaks, etc. So our Foundation Medical Nutrition for the Masses strategy is brilliant. It's pure genius. And it's the dream child of Dr. Joel Wallach, my colleague, mentor, and friend, the unrivaled superstar of holistic medical nutrition. Healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. Our recommendation, get a healthy start pack, appropriate for your health condition. We have healthy blood sugar packs, healthy digestion packs, healthy bone and joint packs, anti-aging healthy packs, weight loss healthy packs. We've got a healthy pack that's just for you. And when you start taking it, it's going to provide your body with all of the nutrients that it needs, and it'll be the first time your body has been properly nutrified, and that is a game changer. You don't know what you're missing. Check it out. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Go to drglidden.com. Click on the links for more details. Tim in Utah is up when we come back. Wednesday, May 21st, 2014. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your host. This is Fire Your MD Now, and I'm as serious as a heart attack when I say it. Tim from Utah is up. The phones are all lit up like a Christmas tree. Hey, Tim, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thanks, Dr. Glidden, for taking my call. I really appreciate it. So I have a few questions. If you can only answer one, I totally understand. But it's about, one of them's about the side effects of ADD medication. So I took that for about 7 years as a child.
Yeah.
That my parents put me on.
Yeah.
And so some of those side effects include like uncontrollable tics and anxiety, depression, a host of other things. I'm wondering if there's anything that can help reverse or help that in any way.
Well, the first thing, of course, you have to have had stopped the med, right? So have you done that?
Yes.
Or how long ago?
It's been almost 12 years now.
Okay. Well, there's an interesting thing here that happens and that nobody talks about except me. I'm going to ring my own bell here. I've never heard anybody else talk about this like this, but this is the way that it is. At least this is part of the way that it is. One of the reasons that drugs create side effects is because, the human body is a complex system of interrelated parts with billions of metabolic processes happening all of the time. Processes which are regulated by the body's innate God-given intelligence. There is intelligence to every single solitary biochemical reaction that happens inside the body. Now, when into such a complex system you throw a man-made synthetic drug, you're going to upset the apple cart. You're going to push a biochemical pathway this way, upregulate another biochemical pathway, downregulate another biochemical pathway. You're going to have unintended consequences because you're throwing into this complicated soup a different spice, and it's going to change a lot of different things, number one. Now, that's the concept of side effects that everybody is aware of, but here's another concept of side effects that nobody talks about except me. When you take a drug into the human body, it exerts a physiological reaction. And the physiological reaction happens through the virtue of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. Your body is made out of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. All of the biochemical things that happen in the body include vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, right? That's how the body works. So, when you take a drug into the system, and it exerts a biochemical influence on your system, it burns through your nutrient reserves. Because as the drug works, how does the drug work? Well, it works by activating your biochemistry and pushing the biochemistry this way, pushing it that way. It uses up your biochemistry. It's no different than stepping hard on the gas in the automobile. You burn up the gas. You burn through the fuel. Now all of a sudden the car's out of gas and you're stuck. Well, another of the reasons for the side effects that drugs engender in the human body is that they burn through your nutrients, and everybody's nutritionally deficient to begin with. From our point of view, people that have concentration problems, they have nutritional deficiencies, and their central nervous system is weak. Their central nervous system is undernutrified. Their central nervous system needs help. Their immune systems are often upregulated and overactive because of inappropriate food. It's not, you don't have attention problems because you have a Ritalin deficiency, right? But this is what the MDs think. So, an insidious part of continuous, conspicuous consumption of a prescription medication is that it accelerates your nutrient deficiencies, and the nutrient deficiencies were what caused the disease in the first place. So everything is going to get worse. Now, once we stop the drug, there are very few prescription medications which generate negative side effects that are so bad that tissues become destroyed and that you just can't recover. Thank God, there are very few drugs that actually do that. So most of the time, when people, years ago were taking prescription medications for this, that, or the other thing, and then they stopped, we don't really have to worry about the negative effects engendered by the drugs when we were taking them years ago. What we need to worry about and be concerned with is right now the nutritional status of the body and what we can do in order to support and promote the body's march back into the road, the land of health. And given the fact that you started this when you were a young man, or even as a boy, that speaks to me of chronic, lifelong nutritional deficiencies that have been kind of the monkey on your back. And so the chronic nutrient deficiencies for you, I would assume, would be the greater problem here. Yeah, but, thank God these things are relatively easy to address. So in your adult life right now, what are the things that are bothering you physically, mentally, or emotionally on a chronic basis?
Things that seem to come up as a result of the medication still: uncontrollable tics, anxiety, depression, big emotional swings. A lot of bad things like that.
Okay, great. So uncontrollable tics. This is is it a facial? Where do you get the tic?
Usually facial, yeah.
Okay, so that's a calcium deficiency and a magnesium deficiency. And the reason that happens is because the med burned through your calcium and magnesium stores. Now, you would think, I drink milk. Well, that's great. But there's more calcium per ounce in maple syrup than there is in milk. That's an interesting statistic. The minerals are extremely necessary for human health, and it's impossible to get all of the body's mineral needs just from eating or drinking. You can't do it, because the minerals are not evenly spread out in the soil, and it's just a guessing game. It's a game of chance as to whether on Monday you're going to have enough calcium, and on Tuesday you're probably not going to. And you go up and down and all around. And then if you exercise or get on a treadmill or do a sweat lodge or go to a sauna, you sweat out all of your minerals, and then you're, back to where you started or less than where you started. So facial ticks anywhere in the body, ticks, twitches, chronic muscle cramps, chronic muscle tension anywhere in the body are calcium and magnesium deficiencies, period. Interesting, because anxiety, whether it's, full-blown in-your-face anxiety like, I'm frozen in fear, or it's just low-grade kind of, feeling uneasy, kind of, sort of, these are calcium and magnesium deficiencies also. Mood disorders are related to blood sugar issues and cholesterol levels and hormone levels. And, all of these things are intermixed and they interplay and they interrelate. And rather than spending thousands of dollars on some type of diagnostic discovery to try to micromanage the biochemistry of your body and find out exactly where your weak point is, right? And then develop a therapeutic to fix it, rather than do all that, which, by the way, I used to do. I used to do that. I don't anymore. Because the foundation principle here is your body knows what's best. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body knows how to have healthy blood sugar. Your body knows how to have healthy hormones. Your body knows how to have healthy muscles, ligaments, tendons, and joints. It knows how to do that. But in order to do that, your body needs raw materials. If it doesn't have the raw materials, it ain't going to be able to optimize its function. It just can't happen, because your body can't make things out of nothing. Your body can't do that. So the basic strategy here would be for 90 days to pour into your body 200% of the nutrients that it needs, with a little bit extra emphasis here on blood sugar support and calcium, right? Stop eating food that's hurting the body and sucking these nutrients out of the body or disallowing their entry into the body, and see what happens. And I'm going to bet you 25 cents that the first thing that's going to disappear is the facial tics. What about falling asleep at night? Is that easy or difficult, or what's that like for you?
On medication, it was difficult. Off medication, it's not really a problem.
Okay, great. And
but I still feel like. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I still feel like I have the symptoms of ADD or ADHD.
Yeah, I can understand that, right? So, now, what's your current body weight?
I think like 185.
Okay, how tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, so that's a good weight for you. All right, great. So my recommendation for you for 90 days would be, I'd like you to, every month, please, I'd like you to do 2 bottles of Beyond, or 2 canisters of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. 2 Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, 2 canisters of that. I'd like you to do 3 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX, O-S-T like Thomas, E-O, 3 Beyond Osteo FX a month. 2 bottles of EFA Plus, that's like Edward Francis Albert Plus, 2 bottles of EFA Plus, and 2 bottles of Sweet Ease, just how it spells, just how it sounds, Sweet -EZE. So that's 2 Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. That's the newest version of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. 3 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX liquid calcium. Make sure it's the liquid, not the powdered. 2 bottles of EFA Plus and 2 bottles of Sweet Ease. Plus, eliminate the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website. Just go to drglidden.com, scroll down the front page till you see it, and click on it. And the only other thing I would advise you to do is start to eat salt. Start to salt your food so that it tastes good. And don't be afraid of food that's high in cholesterol, because your central nervous system needs cholesterol to function properly. 75% of your brain and nerves are made from cholesterol. 100% of your hormones are made from cholesterol. So if we're trying to optimize central nervous and hormone function, which in your case we are, then it would be prudent for you to be on a high cholesterol diet. And I mean like 6, 7, 8 eggs a day, man. Chicken with the skin, turkey with the skin, butter by the stick. Just don't be afraid of cholesterol. Go crazy for cholesterol. It's an experiment, right? It's an in-house experiment for 90 days. And remember, this is a holistic methodology here. So while you are waiting for the tics and the anxiety and whatever else you believe is an ADD thing to resolve, you also want to pay attention to, your mood, your appetite, your energy, your stamina, and things like this. 90-day experiment, that's how I would run with it. I think you're going to love how you feel, man. And I think you also had a question number 2.
Yeah, well, along with the 10 bad food, good foods, I had already looked that up, and I know that it says to not have anything that's no oil in a bottle.
Yeah.
And one thing I was reading about was oil pulling for teeth and how it extracts the bad stuff in your teeth. And I'm wondering, if I don't swallow the coconut oil that's used for that, I just swish it around my mouth for 20 minutes and spit it out. Should I not be doing that either?
I'm good with that. That's an Ayurvedic technique, and those people had it dialed in. As long as you don't swallow it, Tim, I'm good. Now get with the person that told you about this show and figure out how to get these supplements. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Pennsylvania. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. Let's talk to Tom in Pennsylvania. Hey, Tom, thanks for the call. You are live.
How you doing, Doctor?
I'm great, but I'll get better. Thanks for the call, man. What's up?
Okay, my problem is high blood pressure readings. Whether it's true hypertension, I don't know, and I'm going to give you the background and all the details.
Shoot.
I'm a 64-year-old male, 6 foot, 200 pounds. I have been disabled with anxiety disease since '94.
Okay.
I have a hard time with stress. So when I take my blood pressure sitting down, the higher readings can go up to 187 over 111.
Yep.
When I take the readings laying down, it goes down to somewhere close to normal. Maybe 150 or 140 over 80, or even sometimes it goes lower than that. It goes 110, 165.
Over what?
Pardon? 110 over 160, or 110 over 65.
Okay, great. Well, from my point of view, which is the correct point of view, because the pharmaceutical industry has moved the goalposts on the bottom line for high blood pressure the same way they moved the goalposts for total cholesterol, right? Years ago, it was 220 was the upper limit of cholesterol. Then they moved it to 205, and then they moved it to 200, and then they moved it to 199. And each time they moved it, they made millions of dollars in statin drug sales. They did the same thing with high blood pressure. When I was in medical school, you couldn't diagnose or reasonably put somebody on high blood pressure medication unless they had 3 consecutive readings where each number was elevated. Both numbers had to be elevated above 140 over 90. And not only did both numbers have to be elevated, but they had to be elevated 3 times in a row in order for somebody to be technically given, a diagnosis of high blood pressure, which would stand up in court. Now, the MDs have moved the goalposts, and so now, if just one of the numbers is elevated above what they consider normal one time, they'll put you on high blood pressure meds because they call it pre-hypertension. And the rationale is that, number one, they have no idea what causes it. Number two, they have no concern to find out what causes it. Number 3, as far as they're concerned, it's only going to get worse. Number 4, it's called the silent killer for a reason. So you might as well go on blood pressure medication because it's probably going to save your life. Yada, 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 yada. So that's why they do it. That's how they justify it. You can justify whatever you want if you're an MD. So you have borderline hypertension right now. You don't have hypertension. You have borderline hypertension. Now, it's interesting.
Well, is that laying down is so much different than sitting up.
I get it. You have borderline hypertension. If you had hypertension, the numbers would be high no matter what you did. Okay? All right? So now, it's interesting here, Tom, because one of the sayings in diagnostic science is when you're trying to figure something out diagnostically, when you hear hoofbeats, you think about horses before you think about camels, right? So, which means you think about the most common things that cause things before you start thinking about weird things that cause things. The most common cause of high blood pressure is not enough calcium and not enough magnesium, period. The most common cause of anxiety, not enough calcium and not enough magnesium, period. So my armchair guess would be, as an in-house experiment, you need to give your body the 90 essential nutrients for 90 days with extra calcium. And you need to stop eating food that interferes with the body's absorption of calcium into the body and look to see how you feel. I think you're going to love how you feel. You're a good, how much do you weigh? You said you're 200 pounds?
6 foot, 200 pounds.
Yeah, so my recommendation for 3 months as an experiment, and honestly, I don't think it's going to take 12 weeks for you to feel a noticeable difference. It's the same for the last caller. So the easiest way to get this would be 2 Healthy Start Pack original formula, 2 original formula Healthy Start Packs, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Plus, 2 original formula Healthy Start Packs, and 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX liquid calcium a month for 3 months, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. So, get with the person that told you about this radio show. They'll tell you how to get the stuff. They'll tell you how to take it. And give me a call back in about 3 weeks with a report. Take your blood pressure twice a day. Keep your fingers crossed, and I'll look forward to hearing from you in the future. I appreciate the call, Tom. We're out of time. Hour 2 coming up, folks. Don't even think about touching that dial.